Resolve. Welcome. Hi, everyone. It's good to see you again. I'm here this week to share some very good friends of mine, some magnificent healers, and great supporters in my work and in my natural healing abilities. So I wanted to dig a little deeper into my toolkit, and I want to share um, some stones with you. Stones, crystals. They're very good friends of mine. They have amazing energies. Each one of stones and crystals have their own energy, their own vibration, their own color, and they also have their own amazing ability to heal anybody that is in their around them and in their area. So today, some of my favorite stones, and there's so many of them out there, and in my practice I use a lot of different stones, but I have a few favorite ones that I really like that I've used almost from the beginning of the time that I was injured with the radiation poisoning and the other issues that I had previously in 1986. And I've been using stones regularly to heal myself and my clients since then. And so there's many different ways to use these stones. The first stone that I really want to share with you is a green fluorite. And green fluorite is an amazing area cleanser. It also works really well for the body as a feeling of being minty refreshed after using it. So it works really well for bruises, for sprains and strains, for bug bites. And the first time I had the privilege of using a green fluorite, I had been water skiing and wasn't all that coordinated at it and not really all that well with it. But I did go out there, and when I was up in the water and I was being pulled, something happened within my ankles, and both of the skis crossed, and both of my ankles bent inwards. So I had a double um, sprain on both ankles, and then I had to drive about 200 miles home in a stick shift. So by the time I got home, my ankles were very, very swollen, so bad that I could not even put any weight on them. Supposing to go to the hospital and work a shift shortly after that. And so I went into my massage therapist, and she started just working the stones on that sprain, on that swelling. And I sat at the end of her table, and we talked for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And I kept looking down at my ankle, and every time I looked down on it, it would go smaller and smaller and smaller. And finally, it was down to the bone again, and there was no swelling left on it at all. And I was so blown away. There was no pain, there was no swelling, there was no discomfort. And I really couldn't believe my eyes. So as I looked at this amazing, miraculous event, I didn't believe it, and I decided to go out for a little walk around the block just to make sure that it anchored in there. And when I got back, there was still no swelling, there was still no pain or discomfort. And at that point, I was like, this sounds like something for me. So I immediately started asking Creator and asking Mother and asking my guides to show me. And so they brought a wealth of information to me. Fluorite, green fluorite is one of my favorite ones. As I said, it works wonderful for bruises and sunburns. When Maria and I originally got together, it also, we lived up in Colorado where there was no heat, just a wood blazing stove. And we had a really big cat that used to like to sleep kind of under the stove where she didn't see him, and she actually tripped and she fell towards that hot stove and put her hand right on that corner of the stove and just got her right down to the bone. We were in a heavy storm and we weren't able to get out to go to the hospital to get this thing taken care of. And so all I could do was I packed it in a green fluorite and snow. And the energy of that and the coolness that kept the stone going with the stone healed this this burn overnight. And no scar, no pain, no discomfort. It was quite amazing. So there's a lot of ways that you can use stones. One of the major ways that I use stones is at night in bed, and I hold them in my hand. And I've talked about before how everything is related in the hands. All of the systems, all of the skeletal structure, all of the qigons, chakras, all the meridians, everything's in the hand. So we can get a lot of work done by using our hands or putting stones within our hands and resting, as it is sort of a slow receiving kind of a therapy. You can also just lay them on the area that is sore and sensitive. You can rotate them around if you can get to that area. And the reason why I chose doing stonework today is because I've recently had a client who asked me about a diagnosis. They don't really want to put a word to it, but they want to work with the energy and the symptoms. So the diagnosis was soft tissue rheumatism. And so what happens there is that usually affects the cartilage and the ligaments of things. Calcium deposits start sitting in there, and it starts getting hard to move the energy around. And hers was specifically right on the tailbone. So it's kind of a hard place to comfortably work with stones unless you just are able, if you have a flat stone that you can sit against and just allow that energy to help you. But you can't really get in there and work with it. So for her, I recommended that you actually can work with the wrists and the side of the hand. So the wrist represents those hips, it represents the sciatic, as well as this area of the hand represents the tailbone. So remember, the front of the hand represents the front of the body, and the back of the hand represents the back of the body. So when you're working with stonework, there's several ways, and you might notice that in your hands might be a little sore or sensitive, but you really got the concentration going down in the sciatic. So we can find that connection within our brain. And what we can do is we can take that stone and just run it. We can move it up the top. And what you're doing is just lightly moving the stone. You're not really pushing it or making it work. And it may stop along the way. And you might be having a little firm pressure, but it's not going. And you're like, that's because that area is where that stone is wanting to heal in that moment. It's wanting to take out that pain and discomfort for you. So with green fluorite, that's going to cool that area down. It's going to take the swelling down, almost as if you were putting ice on the back of your hips. So you could just run it on the back of your hand and up and back. So we're working here. This would be the tailbone or the hips area and back. Coming up here, this is known as the back strap. This is the neck area. This would represent the head. So you can know in this area, just rubbing it up and down, oh man, that feels so good. Feels really good. So what you want to do is just find a stone that's going to feel comfortable in your hand. And then there's a lot of different sizes and shapes and stones and crystals. These also have really amazing healing for you. This is a bloodstone, so it's going to help purify the blood. It's going to help strengthen all of the blood systems or the endocrine systems. And so you can go in a counterclockwise direction. So down here, I'm learning here, there we go. Down here in this area would represent also the low back in the back of your back area. So you can push that out and just bring the stone up and gently back down. and just have it that way and just get used to the energy and how it's releasing. Sometimes you might feel the muscles crack or pop a little bit or kind of give a little bit. You're just working through that scar tissue. Sometimes you might get a stone that is really comfortable for you, say like a little egg, and you can go in a counterclockwise direction. That's going to take out the pain in any sensitive areas. Anytime that there's a weak spot or you want to just help detox that area. And then you can go in a clockwise position to strengthen that area. So this is just a really, really brief little invitation for you to, if you have stones around your house, they do a lot more than just the beauty of looking at them. Give yourself permission to visit them and to see how they can help you feel better within your body. So for a real quick demonstration today, I hope that that inspires you to check out your own stones that may be calling to you. If you should have any questions on easy body wisdom techniques for your body wellness, I would love to hear from you. And if you have tried any of these exercises or little easy tips before, I'd love to hear how those went for you too. Until next time, have a wonderful, sparkling, blessed day. Loko, monogosee, from the light of my heart.